We need an immediate measures to be taken in order to get really these radical groups out of Jaffa Gate and let them keep everybody live in peace in Jerusalem. I feel now, sitting here in the office, as if I'm in a pressure cooker. And I can see to myself that one day this problem, if it is not solved soon, we will have really this pressure cooker exploded. The question would be, where is the Christian world from this issue? Not only the Christian world, also those people from all over the world, the Jews who love Jerusalem, the Muslims who love Jerusalem, where are they from this issue and why we see nothing?
On the east side of Jerusalem's Old City is the most contentious real estate in the world, the Temple Mount, the Dome of the Rock. On the Old City's west side could be the second most contentious real estate, a landmark building, the Imperial Hotel. It's a dispute between a Jewish group, Ateret Cohanim, and a prominent Arab family who both hold documents of a 99-year lease to the historic hotel at Jaffa Gate.
Here, I carry all the worries on top of my back regarding the embezzlement that happened in 2004, regarding the long-term lease of the Imperial Hotel to a radical extremist group in Jerusalem. Being on Jaffa Gate, actually, this is the entrance to the Old City. And to the left side of the hotel, there is the Catholic Patriarchate. On the right-hand side, the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. And the presence of the Christians are on site here on Jaffa Gate. Unfortunately, allow me to say that only 1% now of the Christians are staying inside the Old City. Everybody migrated, everybody left. There used to be 8%. And now this is the location where the Christians are living. So when I come from home, I come inside the Jaffa Gate, and then I look to the walls and I see the walls are crying now, because without Christians and without Christianity and without having anybody inside Jaffa Gate, this Jerusalem is gone. Jerusalem means nothing.
After a 14-year legal battle, the Israeli Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Ateret Cohanim's claim to a lease on the hotel. The building itself is owned permanently by the Greek Orthodox Church and stands in what is known as the Christian quarter of the Old City. The Ateret Cohanim declined to an interview, citing the ongoing legal issues of a new court challenge by the church. A major objective of the Ateret Cohanim is to restore a Jewish majority in the Old City and Arab neighborhoods of East Jerusalem, using overseas tax shelters to buy property.
One of the points of this radical group is to restore Jerusalem, to restore their presence in Jerusalem. But I would rather say these people went in and they came by using overseas shelter companies registered in the Virgin Islands. And I leave it like, why should you go to the Virgin Islands, put up a company, and come back in order to evict the Dajani? If it is for right, and if they have the right, they can put up a company and they can say who they are. And when they came back, we knew at a later stage that it is owned by what's so-called Ateret Cohanim.
For 70 years, the lease, or key money as it's called, has been granted by the church to the family of Walid Dajani, who traces his ancestral links to Jerusalem, going back hundreds of years, and holding the ceremonial keys to King David's tomb on Mount Zion.
I wonder when I walk inside the old city, why don't these radical people, these settlers, they spend their money to improve the Jewish quarter, to get old age homes for them, to improve education, and to leave us alone. I wonder, why should they spend their money on things they are dreaming about them, putting millions of dollars, tax-free shelters, companies registered in the Virgin Islands, so as they can get the money from the US, from those people who donate the money, in order to come and really disturb the everyday life of the Christians and Muslims in Jerusalem. They have a better way in spending their money. Can you believe, being here for 70 years, we have the contract to go for 3 generations, which is 400 years to come, and not the other group of people. We have the full right to stay. We have protected tenancy.
In 2004, the Ateret Cohanim approached the Imperial's owner, the Orthodox Church, and began negotiating a 99-year lease on the building with a secular businessman claiming to have power of attorney of the Greek Orthodox Patriarch at the time. This man drafted an agreement to sell the lease for $1.25 million and was paid this fee. Months later, the man reportedly disappeared from Israel.
1,800 square meters on Jaffa Gate, the prime spot in Jerusalem, the center of the world, 48 rooms to be given away for $1,250,000. For God's sake, you cannot buy a house now in Jerusalem, 80 square meters, 50 miles away from Jerusalem for this money. I am addressing the whole world. I am addressing those people who is watching me. Is this fair? Is this logical for you? Please, if this is, I'm going to leave this house tomorrow. If not, then stand by us. Stand by justice.
So the central dispute is that two parties, the Ateret Cohanim and the Dajani family, both hold a lease on the same property. The Dajanis have held protected tenancy, but that agreement has now been overturned by the Israeli Supreme Court. This decision potentially sets a precedent for thousands of other homes and businesses in Israel who hold a similar protected tenancy lease.
I'm afraid to say, and it's bad to say, that if these radical group would put their hands on Jaffa Gate, bye-bye London, no more Christians, and not only Christians, but also the other Christian leaders, denominations, that would have really bad time to survive alone on this area. So it is a very serious case.
Walid Dajani and his cousin, Dr. Mohammed Dajani, have been ambassadors of goodwill and bridge builders in Jerusalem. Professor Dajani is an acknowledged expert on the Holocaust, even taking Palestinian students to visit Auschwitz. Walid Dajani has trained a generation of Arabs in hotel management and is appreciated by Christian pilgrims from around the world.
3 weeks ago, His Beatitude came to the hotel because he made a mass just outside the hotel with all the other bishops and patriarchs of Jerusalem to save the property, to save us, and to tell the world that to pray for the Dajani family not to be evicted. He came in here and he said the same thing, and he addressed even the Prime Minister of Israel, and he addressed the head of state of Israel to stand by him, to stand by justice, and to keep the Dajani out in this building, so as this will say also forever for the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate, and we shall do always our best to keep this property for. And I always thank His Beatitude. He has great worries. He has been to the US last week, and he has met with many senators, and I hope these senators have listened to him, and they will support him because he needs the support.
Two parties contesting the same lease. It's a potentially serious dispute, endangering the peace of Jerusalem and requiring Israel to apply the wisdom of Solomon to resolve this matter in a just and fair way.
We cannot say this costs 100 million or 200 million or 500 million. It is as much important as the White House in the US, and being here at the Imperial Hotel inside JFK is one of the most beautiful buildings inside the whole city. Is the White House for sale, for God's sake, ladies and gentlemen? Can we buy the White House? I'm asking you, I'm asking those audience, I'm asking those people who care about humanity in this world. Can we buy the White House? If the White House is for sale, then this house is for sale.
Watching from his office balcony, Walid Dajani surveys the city his family has known since the 14th century. The Orthodox Patriarch has described him as the guardian of Jaffa Gate in his fight to preserve the Christian quarter of Jerusalem.
In the mornings, I come here, the cup of coffee in my hand. I sit down, and then I say my prayer, and I look up to God and tell Him, God, you have been protecting me all the way through. Again, please God, on the top, on the roof of the Imperial Hotel, please first take good care of my children, and then also my second request would be keep this property in the hands of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. What a beautiful city. What a beautiful city. You have all the churches, all the mosques underneath your eyes, and here I am. Our cemetery, the Dajani Cemetery, is adjacent to the walls. I hope one day that really this would turn up into a paradise, turn up into the three monistic religions in the world, that we live safe and sound in this holy city. What a beautiful city that encompasses all the religions in the world. One day everything will go, but Jerusalem will stay. And I will try my best also to keep this property for the Dajani family, to my grandchildren, as well, to keep going on. But of course, the support is needed, first from God, and then from the people who are listening to me. And personally, sometimes, or not always, maybe now, people would look and say, we envy this man, but you know, this man has lots of problems. I cannot get out of my mind that this building has been given away for $1,250,000. What I'm crying for is only justice.